everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm currently working on a masking tape project. My faithful notebook. Where is it? I'll be right back. I got it. So I'm working on a picture. This is my next project. It is a picture of a Roman soldier that comes to a realization. He comes to the light, and that light brings him down and allows him to cry tears of water, which is going to lead me what I wanted to talk to everyone about today. And even though I'm drinking a cup of coffee, I wanted to talk about the significance in the Bible of water. Now, I would love to think that this is a revelation that I came up with myself, but we all know that there's been baptisms that we've all gone to or been through, and that requires the water. Jesus was baptized in water. Moses parted the Red Sea. So many things happen with water, and there's an importance to water. The Nile, that water was definitely not supposed to save him. The river was a place where it's full of fear. Baby boys especially didn't find themselves in the middle of the Nile. But they were being hunted, and sometimes throughout history we've learned that desperate choices have to be made sometimes. But one thing's for sure, that you give life a chance, a fighting chance, in the middle of wars, in the middle of survival, in the middle of anything. You fight for life. That is no different. I'm all about pro-life. I want to make sure that that message is given to everyone. So there's such a significance in water. This is where Moses was placed. Moses was placed in this water. Could I do that as a mother? What a terrible choice something like that would be. But his mother did she did the right thing. She had faith in God that he would be saved. I mean, there's no other way to think about it. There's no other hope to have but that he would find himself in a place of safety and security. And that's exactly where God led him. So his mother doesn't send him to die. His mother sends him in the hands of God. The current doesn't rush. The basket doesn't sink. The reeds hold him still, right where a woman with a mother's heart will find him. That's where we are so special as women. Our feelings have been our downfall for so long. But if we could really tap into the feeling of the gift of motherhood, I'd go back and do it all over again so differently. And all I could do now, because I'm 51 years old, all I can do is recommend for the young women out there to learn about Mary, to learn about all the women in the Bible. It's important. These stories have significance. And before Moses even knew his name, before he ever held a staff, before he ever parts the sea, God uses water to say, this life matters. The water becomes so obvious throughout time. The water keeps on appearing. It keeps on placing a role in his life. It's used to communicate with not just Moses, but people for thousands and thousands of years after Moses. This is God's teachings. And that's why we're very grateful that these people did keep their stories, their record, very sacred to them. What's meant to harm, God can use it for good. Even if it seems impossible, we learn that throughout the Bible. God can use it for good. So the river becomes a cradle, and from the very beginning, water is not his enemy. It's his covering, it's his protection. It's God always talking to him. And that's very special. And we should use these lessons of water, not just with Moses, but with Jesus. It's something that we should really appreciate. You know, I don't know, now that I've talked about water so much or thought about it in a way I've never thought about it before, I just can't wait to go to my first lake trip this summer and just on a beautiful sunny day embrace God's glory, God's gifts, God's life, creation, the air, the sun, everything that we see. I can't wait to have one of those days where I'm in the midst of the beauty. I mean, I'm very happy right here. I have everything I could ever want. I wanted to also show my painting all framed up. And this is what it looks like. I'm very proud of this painting, my Jesus. And as you can see, he's having the lambs cross over safely over the water. There's another instance, like a bridge over troubled waters. And it's just interesting, you know, like we have to go through a time of purity in our lives. And God puts Moses through that. He goes through that purity, and water is always there in a very major way. Not just like, oh, I had a cup of water. Water's always there in a very, very major way for Moses, obviously. And we all have times that we're in the desert. I know I've had my times in the desert. And sometimes you have to let go of everything. Imagine running away from the palace, or just not falling in line with everything that everyone who followed the Pharaoh made sure it was his will. Imagine going against that and then leaving it and just letting everything go. And just going far away from everything you've ever known, everything you've had. What does that do to a person? Well, I'm no Moses, but my life has changed and transformed with the grace of God. And I'm finally recognizing it, and I'm finally taking it seriously. Because God's been talking to me for a very long time. I've just been very stubborn about listening. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of family members that are left or that speak to me even. And that's okay. You know, there's differences in the world that divide us. And sometimes those divisions are necessary. God demands clarity. He brought light to separate us from darkness. I did my picture with Moses, and I kind of ended it where he runs off to the desert. And I wanted to leave it there because that's when things happen for Moses. That's when his closeness to God happens. Maybe to many back in, the palace, it looked like Moses has run off. He is going to live a horrible, terrible life out there. They're thinking in the material, the flesh. And God does something when you're broken, when you're tired, when you surrender. That's when God is so visible. But I left my story there, and this was my final work. Hope you like it. I want to talk about Moses getting through and freeing his people on a next project. But for right now, I'm satisfied with Moses surviving as a baby, a woman who had a compassionate heart, loved the water probably. I could just only imagine her bathing area and, the luxury that she had, and she probably was just so drawn to that water. And then all of a sudden this baby comes. I mean, it's like a beautiful birth, And if something like that were to happen to me, I could say with certainty, any child, any baby coming into my life is a blessing. And that's how we should all feel. We should feel like this woman, the Pharaoh's daughter. We should feel like her. We should love these children like they're our own. And we should embrace being mothers and putting our children before us. To me, the Word of God is very interesting. It's a mystery. And I'm so excited because as I'm learning, I can make stories that inspire me from the stories that I read. And I encourage anyone to either write poems or color, draw, do any of those things. Make something that symbolizes God. Anything would be nice. Just, keeping God front and center always is just been wonderful. My next project I'm going to be doing, besides the Roman soldier. Oh, I wanted to get to that too. So we left Moses surviving, and now he's in the desert, living and learning and growing and getting closer to God. And from there we'll pick up as to what his life would have been like. He ends up meeting a woman, and that woman becomes his wife. And I think the love sometimes puts things in perspective for people, and especially when God is at work. I think that's beautiful. My Roman soldier, that's the next story. The Roman soldier realizes that truly this is the Son of God. If you hear some noise in the background, that's just Michael. He made a delicious dinner tonight. He did chicken and shrimp Alfredo. It was wonderful, very rich, and it was great. And now he's having a little bit of leftover, so you hear any noise, that's what it is. We'll talk more about Moses in part 2, the Moses saga. And I think we're going to leave it off where he is in love and he's far away from the palace and he's got this great relationship with God now. So we'll leave it there. Besides the Roman soldier coming to his senses, I have this hair dye, which I want to do a painting of Jesus with because I don't like to waste anything. And I've never done this before, so this is the first time I'll be testing it out on my notebook. So let's see what happens. And I'm not going to do Jesus per se. I'm just going to do a little sample of what something might look like with the hair dye. Okay, that's what the hair dye is going to look like. But if I, don't want to get this dirty. Take a brush, and I can see how this is going to work out. This is going to take a while to dry because it's hair dye. It's like oil based, but it's going to come out good because I could tell by the way it's moving on the paper. It's going to be great. Stay tuned. So, and on Sunday nights, I just wanted to make mention that I try to post every Sunday night a longer video, something that has to do with one of my art projects or a certain, mixed with a certain chapter in the Bible or story in the Bible. If anybody has any ideas of what I can paint or what story I could try to project on paper, on my masking tape art, that would be great. I would love that. And also, if you could let me know what you think of the artwork. Basically, this video has turned into a hot mess between that blender and me doing that to this poor little flower, I tell you. I don't know what to say, but it's all right. We're going to keep on going. We're never going to quit. We're never going to give up. And we're going to have fun doing it in Jesus' name. Oh, look at that. What you doing? What is that? Your smoothie? How excellent. How excellent. God bless you all. Until next time. And thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you.